And actually, I even had my guy Marco akalipo web na tize mwana mzanga.
I was just like, oh,
vimachitika vintu.
Michael, by the way, is the producer of the show, so I kept telling him, boy, that's the announce. That's but he's here. Danny is here, and we'll be talking to him, and obviously later as we go on, you also come through and just ask all the questions that you have. I know one of the famous ones is why did you these days Shan obviously they're my questions. But earlier I was asking people, I mean, you went to school in Thika, and you're the last born in a family of 6.
You are dangerous. You sound like BBC.
I have followed you. Just
amazing.
You'll be like, oh, really? Yeah. I mean, all these places. So you're celebrated. You are a legend.
Thank you, my brother.
You are a legend. Apa social kasira, guys, people match the photo 9 apa so na tani nilimo. Ni copy some picture. So I mean, we celebrate you. I mean, pretty soon you'll be celebrating your birthday. We know that. Yeah.
Gary.
And we know that you're an electrical engineer.
Okay.
That we know. But this is what in Kasiro music. Music chain. Yes. From the first, I think the first time I heard you was on the Mbelani album. The first album.
Yeah.
One of the standout songs, obviously, is that Masiko Wants song. But I mean, let's just talk about the love for music first of all. I mean, let's start it from there. When did it hit you? Was it at school? Did you grow up with it? What was it?
Yeah, I think it was way back in 1992. I was in grade 8. Then
what hit you? What was it? Was it
first in school? There was a variety show. I was at a boarding school, so in a boarding school there's boredom. It's boarding. So then somehow we had a variety show. What? And the school was Mungwi Tech in Kasama down there. So we had a variety show, and 2 or 3 of us who came from Saka, we said, let's make a routine. Let's just play something interesting. It's boarding. We did a dance routine, and the whole school loved it.
You did a dance routine?
I was a dancer.
Ah, no. How come you never saw that later on, as in when you went on?
Yeah, amazing.
It's
life.
Decided to stop?
Yeah, just said, no. Then I think it was just an introduction to say you are in the entertainment world.
Okay.
Then from there on, grade 9, grade 10, I started playing around with I had a small keyboard. I'd play around with it and started producing some music, just keep playing.
Yeah.
Then something started to build in me to just love music at a very different level.
Okay.
Then I started to write a few songs, a few lyrics just on my own, just trying to see if I can do something.
Play around with it.
I would write this, I write that and all that.
Yeah, that you would say that, because my first moment with you, when I saw it, because I used to frequent Nexus Music Studio. They were in town.
That's why I wanted to use some when I got it.
So I'd see you coming up, because there's an upstairs with a keyboard.
Yes.
So I'll see you. So your first was the keyboard.
Yeah, that's the first instrument I was exposed to. Keyboard, playing around with it, and just like that, playing around with it.
Nice. Okay. So so 1992, it moved on. Obviously, you're trying to piece everything together, and then now when you said, okay, I am an artist.
Yes.
Obviously, 92, you went on, finished your high school, you were in Pika, and then
that was now 1997. Okay. I finished school in 96.
Okay.
97, I remember I went to Botswana. When I came back, I think 98 or so. Then I was listening to Daddy Zimas. The late great. Oh, that guy. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
I would listen to his music and I would sing along to it. Sing along to his Salaula. Sing along to everything,
Yes.
Then it started to hit me that, look, I'm singing along to this music. Probably I could do this.
Yeah.
I started writing my own songs. Then we had have information probably you've never heard. I can tell that you have so much information here.
Oh, try me. Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Yes.
What was the first group I was in?
Yeah.
Now I'll give you names, you'll be shocked. It was called BBA. Black Brothers of Africa.
Wow.
We came together. Me, Elijah Tembo from Kula Music. There was a brother Caesar, unfortunately he's late now. And we had one female.
Who was the female?
Hope Chala.
Wow.
Your same very Hope.
I knew about Hope. Being, working in music, I know.
I know her very
Didn't
well.
also
I
start
even
off
know.
that.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how we started to introduce ourselves into the music. We even went to movie studios, but then they were in Soweto, which are down, which are market.
Yes.
Tried to record something, came up with something. Then life just dispensed us in their own direction.
Did you produce something as BBA?
Yeah, we did a song. Oof, I can't even remember how the song went way back, Then we found ourselves in our own directions, and it's like it was an initiation into music, because we would sit, discuss music, work, walk. If you look at all of us, we would walk from Charlie to Soweto.
Yeah.
No limba, just
Yes.
food. So it's something that created us. We would sit down, discuss music, and all of us somehow went in our own directions. And today, I think we are who we are because of what we discussed in that.
What we went through. It's, like the baking, the cooking.
The ANC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so when you go separate ways.
And from there I came up, said, let me do something now on my own. I went to movie studios now. I booked now time on my own.
Yeah. As
Danny,
solo artist. As Danny.
artist.
You even knew that you're gonna call yourself Danny at that time. Very early on.
By then I'd even written the same song Masiko once.
So that was the first song you wrote?
First song ever. Like on a professional level, where I want now to say, let me do a song, put it out to people, and let me see what people will say, how they'll react.
Yes.
Is it working? Will they love it? And all that. To try now and sell yourself to people and see if it will work.
That's so.
Masiko once.
Yeah, great song. You even did a video, would sit on TV. But JK features on the song. How did you meet with JK? This was when? 99?
99, yeah.
Okay. So
that's where we are going. Like from there, I went to movie. When I was doing the sample of the song, the engineer was Keith Mutale.
Yes, the
late Keith, I even remember he gave me so much confidence, told me, my friend, you're doing fine, do this. I remember at some point I booked for an hour. The hour was done. He found a way of manipulating the system. I ended up doing an hour and a half. Just to,
you got extra.
Because he just loved the song. I did that as a demo, as a sample. Then I went home. Then I told my brother-in-law, I said, look.
At that time,
I used to stay with my brother-in-law.
It was just you alone on the song?
Yeah, by then. Alone.
Masiko Onse.
Alone.
There was no
JK. Because I wrote the whole song from the verses and the chorus.
Yes.
So when I went home, my brother-in-law said, fine, I'll pay for you. Find a studio now, record it professionally, and see what you want to do. Then I met Thomas Nelson. They were at Findego House there, at the studio, Feedback Studios.
Famous name, Thomas
Oh,
Nelson.
Yes.
When you talk about Zambian music and where it's coming from, Thomas that name also always pops up.
That Muzungu for Denmark.
Yes.
Very good guy. Right there, as I was waiting for him, then some guy passed in the corridor and he was humming.
Hey.
And I looked, I said, Daniel. So when I asked Thomas, then he said, oh, that's JK, Jordan.
Yes.
I said, I like the way he's humming and think and sing well. Oh, you want him? That's how we called him. Oh, JK, this is Danny. He's trying to do a song, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, he also was trying to do a song. Because then I remember he was with New Age.
Yeah. So it's like they were doing something with New Age with him. Yeah. And me, I came in. I said, I like that guy. I like his voice. There's a song I have, but I don't know who can do the chorus nicely.
Yeah.
That's how we introduced to each other. Fine. They said, fine. Let's meet on Saturday.
I'm curious though. Before JK, I'd love to know how the song sounded. You did the hook?
I did the hook, but we'll leave it like that. It was hooked up.
It was hooked up.
Something you listen to and you go like, oh, okay. Yeah. It was just an idea anyway.
One of those.
Yeah. Even when he came to the studio, he just listened to it. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And I knew this guy, when he listened to it and he started doing it, I just said, this is God sent. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's God working here, and he just hit it.
All right, guys. Listen, Danny is here. We're chatting with him. Let's listen to Masiko Onse. This is a song that launched Danny.
I hope I'll remember it.
To what we know him today. Good beginnings, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Troubles, but that's when you're with Hope. Hey, BBA,
Black Brothers of Africa. Let me talk to the people here. Hello, the only people who do the Pride Chira, Daniel Fume. Nathaniel, Patricia Chipolo. Thank you. Nixon Katungo. When I'm not around, Kalimgulu Yamafela. Reminiscing about this, was in my confronted that you don't have Benze Pachendi with that. Sheila Michuli, or Genzica story. Not a guy compari. So disappointing, they really annoying my sick won't say. Massa, Lawa, come see, Kangani passage. Iwe. Ow. I hope I remember the verses, huh? You know I know girl who would just $1 every day when you die. You think about just $1, no two. Doesn't go Lisa. I love this. You know not losing in the country. You don't want you know. There's a kuona. The really good team. I told her go. Again, you're just another girl like those in Addis Ababa. So for you and me, you find another more sikan. Masiku and singing. Iwe, sikana. Jeke Chiremba Chikari.
Voice, man.
Eyes blessed.
You can't take
anything
away from
nothing.
Talent, what is just
is there, is on point. Pesa, settle around. Come pesa. Matamacha igeza. Kokumutima. Linga kwatile. Masiku onse. Bitoka inde. Chishupi wa bwino. Zabwino. Wendo ya bwino. Ya bwino. Iwe, Kwali, but I love the way you have forgotten the lyrics. How?
Great brands, international brands, innovative products, expert advice.
Beautiful.
At Perfume Corner, we take the best of all world's perfume brands to create your premier unique scent. Your smelling good is our business. What's your type of perfume? Floral, fresh, woody, oriental? You have the choice. We have the types of perfume in stock. We have a point of view about what perfume suits you. That's what makes Perfume Corner different. And what makes us different makes you smell uniquely different. Why Perfume Corner?
Nyimbo nzovuta. Albumboiwala my lyrics. Alabane. 22 years.
that's a long time.
22 years when that song was done. But Niguimvira Mocheka Moz. Then we are back.
Oh, yeah, like
Just it's a refresher course.
314-387. Instagram, Perfume Corner 1. Facebook, Perfume Corner. Or visit us, Shop 6, Freeway Plaza Mall, Chachacha Road, next to Society Business Park.
11:22. If you're joining us now, Z626 Part 2, and today, Danny Belani, he's still Belani at this point, joins us in the studio, and we're just running through his journey, how it all started. Interesting. You've so far missed out on how he started, and he was part of a group, and also that he was a dancer.
Oh yeah.
Before everything else. So let's fast forward. We heard a song that first launched you on that Belani album. I remember there was a song that you did. Was that MC Wabrin on that album as well? No? Yes? No? There wasn't. There's a song, another song I love on that album is that Big Up song. Where you're
Big Up,
picking
yeah,
the
yeah,
industry.
yeah.
Oh yes, that's how I think.
Yeah,
I thought you had MC because
okay,
you picked up all the artists.
All the artists were like pushing
at that time.
Yeah.
So JK was on that first album and on that initial song. On the follow-up album, I'm a Loving, you decided to put JK again.
Oh yes.
On My Jet. What was the first song you recorded on that album?
I'm a Loving. The first song on I'm a Loving I think I did was
it Chikondi Chako Julie?
No, it was Bushema Ilo.
Oh.
No, Bushema Ilo is on the that one. No, actually it was Chikondi Chako Julie because it was like more of a single. I recorded that at Nexus because that whole album was at Nexus.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we had an agreement with Nexus Music.
Yes.
The then and the now Nexus. It's the same Nexus.
So I was told we had tickets sometime last year, and you broke it down, and it says, "Well, that's who what."
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like makes all the sense because I remember I would meet TK as you at Nexus.
So by then I had managed to do some production, and when I met with KMT Nexus, he said, "Look, fine. I also need more producers to create more variation. So if you want," but then I didn't have a studio where to go to and record and all that. So he said, "Fine. You can record. You can help us record our artists during the day. During the night, the studio is yours. You can use it as you wish." So I said, "Fine." Then I started just to manage the times. During the day, I record the artist. In the night, I do my stuff.
So that's when you did the whole Mampi productions.
During the day, the Mampi production during the day. Were Crazy. It was during the day.
You produced
Crazy? Okay.
Wait. the songs, the earlier songs, like
Limba. One of those. I can't remember, but there was Were Crazy. There was Mampi. There was.
Now makes sense.
But I think I did about 4 or 5 on one of those compilations. I produced them with the engineer being Easy Mike. Easy Mike was one doing the engineering. I was just doing the production.
Because Nexus was one of those studios. Because I remember Mainza, Lindy, they recorded that Tari Munyo song from there. So it's one of those. Okay, great. So I'm a Loving. I want us to talk about this Chikondi Chako Julie. That was the first song we recorded. And that introduced you as this philosophical Danny onto the scene.
Okay, on that one.
What were you trying to achieve?
Can I be honest, that song? Yeah. That song was a mistake.
How?
I was making a beat and I don't know what happened, with sequencing, quantizing, all those details of production where you have this 1/16, 1/32. I don't know what I did on a do.
Producer's language.
Yeah. So I missed it, but it gave me the variation of do. I said, I've never heard of that. Sounds good. Then I decided to start working with that sequence. Then someone else came up the ju.
Yes.
Wow. Ga. And I said, it sounds. Let me give it an Indian feel and just give it some Bhangra sound and it's just, I don't know, something happened.
Yes, you added that. It was
like an Indian feel to it, something Indian, and everything just worked out. And
that album was really good. I mean, besides the My Journey song with JK, you also had 2 other collabs on that album. One with the late George Chibangu,
Takwakabe. Beautiful,
timeless song.
Beautiful song, and that was talent. That guy came in the studio 5 minutes. He just listened to the chorus. Lishafut. Okay, Asha. Wow,
really?
Done. Then I was like, wow.
Really?
I also featured on
Fresh. You featured Fresh on that album.
Gary Mavuta. Gary's on fire.
No, because those are memorable songs, and we listen to them on this year's show. Because you sit down, and it doesn't feel like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's over.
It's
2018,
just like,
20. Yeah.
It's just the music is fresh. I mean, this we played it I think 2 weeks ago, and someone texted and said, "Wow,
thank you."
So you did the production?
Production, everything, even the writing.
Yes.
Even the chorus and everything. That was the late great George Chibangu. May his soul rest in peace. The ambassador.
These are memorable.
Deadly voice.
And the other song that we spoke about, the song with Fresh. I struggle. If I want to pick any one of the two, like, I need to pick something from there. I'm like, which one? Because they're equally as good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we touched on this earlier. I wanted to talk about, the inspiration. First of all, you spoke about Daddy Zimas being there. You said, oh, I listened to Salaula here, there. And I was like, okay, I can also do this. But where did you draw your style of music?
My style, I'll tell you one thing. Before I even listened to Daddy Zimas, when I was in school, for some reason, I listened too much to the great Buju Banton from Jamaica.
Ah, okay.
He's been my great inspiration. I listened to his music. He inspired me. If you listen to his music nicely, correctly, attentively, you find a pattern that I've followed even in my career. Yeah. And I'm so happy because from Bob Marley, he's the only second artist who went and filled the National Stadium when he was just released from jail. I listened to him too much, Buju Banton, and I started to follow him. And even when I was starting my music in 1996, 97, I was still doing like Jamaican, whatever. Then when I listened to Daddy Zimas, I said, oh, so you can still get that style, blend it with the Zambian language, and make it home. That's how the Danny genre was being born.
Okay.
I got Buju and I got Daddy Zimas, Nasty D, tried to blend them into one thing and create something that I would call my own.
Yes.
So the inspiration of how to write, the depth of music, the lyrics, that was Daddy Zimas. How to make it feel the flow and Zambian, the depth of music, that was Buju Banton. But how to make it Zambian and all that's where I listened too much to Daddy Zimas and
I'll tell you, I'm
so
happy because I know in the early 90s there was always that fear to go on and use Vanak. In your music. If it's Vanak, it has to be Kalindula. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do R&B or dancehall or anything, you have to do it like you're saying. If your inspiration is Buju, like for you want to go the same way. But when we just realized and said, you know what?
Home is here.
And then we just won it. Joining us now, shortly we will open the lines. You can ask questions or anything that you want to say to Danny Mbelani, Danny Kaya, Danny Yakumbuyo,
Danny Shishita,
Danny Shishita,
Danny
Live, Danny Room,
Ruby, and so on and so forth.
So fast forward.
Oh yes, yo.
We move from Amalavi.
We go to Yakumbuyo.
Then we go to Yakumbuyo. When you just decided to become controversial.
And that's the interesting part. I never decided. Okay, you decided to make me controversial.
Oh, you were just tackling issues.
Me, I was just, and to be honest, when I did that album, the first person I invited to come home and say, listen, I remember very well, it was Fraser from Mama Yenge.
Yes.
About Fraser, album na person move. I played it, I was doing PH, I listened to it, said, I remember it was, mawe mwanike, if you walanda fyakulisha mwanike.
Yeah, like I thought it was strong.
Yeah, it was too. Then when you went, I sat, I listened to it, I said, but what's wrong with this?
Yeah. Because if you listen to Kalindula, they would speak about similar issues.
And I said, I want to talk about this issue, but in vernacular. So what's the most polite way of talking about it? I said, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, by then it was being published by Mondo Music. So when I took it to
Mondo was started from Amalavi.
No. Yakumbuyo was the first album that Mondo published.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The contract I had with Mondo was just to publish. That nothing to do with
production,
marketing. Okay. Just publishing, just put stuff on market. He listened and said, "This is fine. I like it."
Yeah.
And that's how it was published.
Okay. And the rest, like they say, I mean, it's history because that album, besides the Yakumbuyo song itself.
Hopefully today I'm being vindicated.
Hopefully, right? Yeah, on that same album you did Johnny.
Yeah, it was Johnny. There were a lot of songs.
Yeah, Johnny. There was
Jayla with Chameleon.
Oh yes, that also was a great collab.
Yeah.
And then you did Pantu
Mukonkluda. Yeah, that goes back to me and Jane Osborne, you know.
Yes.
And people, as usual, Zambia, Bola concluda, what. I said, moment. I mean.
And
that year, I remember, I think I was 24, she was 48. She was twice my age.
Hey, didn't have to put a number.
Ah, boy. I'm a number, I'm a pela.
So how have you dealt with, I mean, yes, you said, I mean, you got inspiration from the Amayenge band.
Oh, yes.
I've had that chance to know that Because I know over your journey you do live performances, and I
Perfect.
followed you. I remember at one point you did this countrywide tour, which Amayenge helped and supported you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been at your events where you're performing with your bands now, the More Fire Band. I remember someplace in Kafue, we went and performed. You went and performed.
Yeah.
You went all the way to Kafue Estate Square. Mvula ya loka, but I see that, guys, we are going to watch Danny, and you've been performing live
Ever since.
Since then.
I was one of the blessed young artists, I believe. I want to say, I don't know if that is, but I was blessed in the sense that when I just started, the late, great Chris Charlie Amaenge saw something in me, started inviting me to shows.
Yeah.
He would call me, what, Livingstone, today. And he would teach you things. You go on stage, you perform before you finish, you come off stage because he was very respectful in his own way. Stage, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. Learning from those
yes,
that have
so
done it.
he gave me those tips, and from there on I never looked back. I just told myself, I think I'm gonna be a live performer.
How crucial is that for a musician, a young musician?
Extremely crucial.
If you're speaking to everybody, the new school, everyone in the game today, how critical is that?
Very, very critical. There are few words he would say. You see, when you're starting in an industry, and someone who's been in the industry gives you a tip, whether it's a lie or it's true, you take it as gospel truth. I'm very careful in me what I say to the young ones, whatever. Every time I call someone and tell them, my friend, you've got this, do this, go like this direction, I mean it.
Yeah. Because
I learned from the best. It's very crucial. That person will take it critical. If you are lying, that person will go suicidal with that statement.
That is true. I'd sit down with Moses of the Sakala
Oh,
brothers,
yes.
And similar sentiments. He was just saying, sometimes it's hard for us who've been in the game for so long to speak to the new kids, because I think we are hating, but not thinking, not realizing that
we are helping.
Yeah, it's to help to build. There's something that they can tell us that we perhaps us as dinosaurs we might not know, and also ask what we might tell them. And we can see that in you. For you, rubbing shoulders with the Amayenge, you've perfected the art of performing live, and now you're passing it on.
Oh yes.
You've got this team. You've got Naso,
Titus.
Yes.
Oh.
Those guys are, so it's great stuff. I will remind you though. There was one time we worked together. I think it's 10 years this year.
Okay.
You were playing at the wedding.
Okay.
Somewhere in Eureka. I don't know if you remember this.
Okay.
Eureka. Some mansion. You went to perform at this
wedding.
Yes.
I remember. Yes.
You were playing with the band. I was there as DJ for the music interludes when you are, you take a break and all those things. That for me stood out. I was like, I was playing at this wedding, and Danny and his band, the Legends, were performing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Amen. And you kept on shouting out, Gary, Apanomba, ni Gary. I was like, because you know how when you're in your zone.
You're in. Party won't push.
Yeah, when Danny's in his zone, he's in his zone. All right, 11:35. Let's take some calls now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's involve.
Time flies.
Let's involve our listener. Richard is a Zambian music follower. Richard. Great to have you, man. I know if I asked you Danny's albums, you will not even take 15 seconds. You will tell me from the first one to the last one. So we'll leave. No, let's leave that. Let's just leave it.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you. Bless you, uncle. Family is good. It's blessed. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to just go back to the CD. You want to dash to your car, put the CD and start listening to them. Yeah. Mhm. All right.
Thank you, Uncle Richard. Thank
Richard,
you.
thanks a lot. Great. So, Danny, just based on that, besides Titus, Nassau, the guys that I know come, who have you or who has come to you to say, but Danny, Ishani, or just wanting to get word, or you've reached out to someone and they've maybe reacted in a way. How has that gone?
Yeah, but you see, there are a lot of things that happen behind the scene.
Uh-huh.
But these are things that I rarely talk about, and
You don't want to bring them
I won't
out.
even be comfortable.
Yeah.
But I would say if there are people that have encouraged to do what they are doing and they've done a lot, probably from how I've also encouraged them. If you go back to people like Hamova, Mampi, they will give you a history of how we started, how I would encourage them, and all that. Of course, the new ones now, they've also got their style, but a few they would call and say, you see, it's very difficult to, as you said earlier, to just approach and say, you know what you're doing, fine, do this, do this.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
But if someone comes to me and says, what do you think here? Trust me, I'm an open book. I open up, I'll tell you what I feel, what I believe, what I have applied. And it has worked for me. Yes, it has worked for me. Worked for me. It may work for you, it may not, but try and get something from there and blend whatever is coming up and
see how that
take
goes.
It up there.
All right. Danny is here. I'll be getting more calls and, of course, telling us about his journeys.